it's Ryan Chernochan, and I am trying to be your friend in real estate, so stay tuned. This is part 2 of a video I already did in the beginning of the summer, but there's a whole bunch of other things I also want to go over, so stick with me. So this video is coming in a little bit late. This is sort of part 2 to a video that I did earlier this year in the summer, which I'll show you here or here, and you can watch it if you'd like. But it was all about pre-sale developments and sort of why you need a realtor. I should explain a little bit as to what I'm doing here. I'm going to still cover that, but there's a few things that tie into it that have happened to me recently. So the reason this has taken so long for me to do is because I had a very busy summer. I helped some people buy some property. I helped some people sell some property. I went away on vacation because I'm a person and that's what people do. So, or someone that just focuses their entire life around real estate. I like to do things too, and I went to Scotland. You can see I bought a flag from St. Andrews. I went to Hawaii for a friend's wedding with my wife. Bought a surfboard, all that kind of fun stuff. So I had a great summer, but I got some time, had some completions sorted out over the last few days. So I want to get back into the swing of doing some of these videos. I had something happen to me very recently, actually today, which is that I had a client who I was working with, and I've been working with them for, I would say, the last year or so. I've been to their property, I answered their questions, I've been in contact, I would say about once a week, about different properties for sale. What they wanted to do is sell their townhome and then buy something new. You know, I visited their place many times, I sat down with them, it was a lot of emails, a lot of, a search site was created, I was sending them listings. Any questions that they had I would answer, and I would almost always answer within 10 minutes of receiving it. So I was, what I thought, really putting in a lot of my heart and dedication to helping them. And then I got a call today out of the blue saying that they had actually purchased a property using another realtor, and that their property was now being listed by, I'm going to assume, that same realtor. It was a major letdown. You know, there was a lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of gas, a lot of effort put in over the last year to help these people. And at the end of the day, I really don't feel like it was anything that I did or didn't do. But what I think happened is they walked into perhaps an open house. They felt like they had to write an offer the moment they got there, or the house or whatever property they're buying might have been sold. And of course that realtor, I'm going to just assume again, said, look, I can help you sell your property if you want to buy this one, etc., etc. And they just said, sure. My rant isn't about people using a realtor and then going another direction. I don't make anyone sign anything when I sit down with them, and they're not obligated to use me. That's the nature of the business, and that's going to happen. But the one thing I want to implore with people is, for your own protection, I think you need to not take the easy route. And if that means interviewing realtors, I have absolutely no problem doing that, because I am extremely confident in what I do as a listing realtor. And I will sit down with them and I will explain from start to finish what I do to market their property. Because that's really what selling a property is at the end of the day. It is marketing. It's getting eyes on the property and bringing people to the front door to potentially make that offer. And then from there, you still have to know contract writing and negotiation and all those things. So there's a lot more to it. But I think that's a really important thing that people need to do that they may not do enough of. And if that means that they're going to interview other people as well as myself instead of simply just using me, I got no problem with that, because again, I'm very confident that I can back up everything that I say and everything that I do, and I can certainly prove it. And I think that's the important part. So let's move into sort of getting back to part 2 of that first part. I'm going to get to that in a second. What I think I might actually do is, because it's such a nice day, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but it's a very nice day. That's my balcony and my view. So I think maybe let's go for a walk. Now here's the other thing that I really wanted to explain. People are going to encounter the realtors that... Hold on a sec. They're going to encounter the realtors that try and entice people to use them based on the price that they're going to give you as the estimate on the value of your home. So just 2 things to beware of. And this is going to sound like an well, not an oxymoron. This is going to sound counterintuitive, I guess would be the word, which is you're gonna come across the realtors that give you a price that's very high, that's specifically designed to wow you into thinking that you're going to be able to achieve that price for your property. So therefore you list with them, and then when the day comes that those offers don't show up, you reduce the price from there, and that's sort of how they get their listing, if you want to say that. On the flip side is that the realtors that give you too low of a price, and that's when a lot of people think those realtors are just in it to make a quick sale and get their commission. So how you differentiate between whether the realtor is being honest about the high price or being honest about the low price is you have to have them explain it to you. You have to have them prove to you what that price should be. So if they give you some huge price, prove it. Show that that's actually the case. And if they can't, if they can't give you a good enough reason as to why the property should be priced as high as it is or as low as it is, then they haven't done their research. Maybe they're not the realtors you should be using, I don't know. But have them prove it. So getting back to part 2 of part 1, if you remember in that first video, I was in Whalley, North Surrey, and I had a client that was attempting or wanting to purchase a condo. There was a huge amount of interest, and what they were doing was a sort of random lottery selection for all the people that had put in a request to purchase a property. So my client actually was chosen in the lottery. Well, we didn't actually go, but when we inquired to actually show up and sit down with the marketing team for that condo development, they informed us that the price that they had been roughly quoting everyone earlier of $700 a square foot is actually going to end up being closer to $825 or $850 per square foot. So the price was significantly higher than what myself or my client thought was going to be the case. And partially that may be because the developer saw the market rising and they wanted to meet that market rise by increasing the price, or perhaps the marketing individual that was helping us didn't know the pricing, because that's just information that they maybe weren't given at the time. But either way, what ended up happening is I did a search for my client for all the resale condos in that area, took a look at those, viewed some of them, determined compared those to the brand new ones, and you know what? He ended up making a judgment call that $850 for the brand new condo just wasn't worth it, given what else was out there selling in the area for cheaper on a resale basis. And that's part of the benefit of having a realtor, is we can bring up what has been sold, what's active, what's been expired very recently. And so he was able to determine that it was just a better financial decision to go a different route than purchasing that pre-sale property. So, you know, in the end, it all worked out for him. It was a better decision. But that's part of the procedure. That's what we as realtors have to go through to help our clients make that best decision. By the way, I'm going to one of my favorite bakeries and coffee places in Steveston. I live in Steveston in Richmond. It's called Diplomat Bakery. Ooh, it is hot. So I wanted to talk about a few more reasons to consider using a realtor when buying a pre-sale property. The most important one I've probably already explained, which is that as a realtor I can show you the comparables in the area, what the market is doing, things that have sold on a per square foot basis, that sort of thing, and it can help you make the best decision possible. But something else that often comes up is people complain to me when they don't use a realtor to buy a pre-sale property, which is they find it very frustrating that it's very hard and it's almost impossible to often contact the representative who originally sold that person the property in the future after they've completed the sale. And the reason is because once that development sells out, almost always those representatives that have helped you purchase it will move on to the next development because they're hired by the developer and they look out for the best interests of the developer, not for you as the buyer. So they move on to the next development. Sometimes they don't even work for the developer at all. So going forward, if your possession is months or even years from the time you purchased the property, you may not be able to get any of the answers you're looking for if you have questions about timing or financing, or you need someone to be there during the walkthrough to help you answer questions. At least with a realtor such as myself, we'll be here every step of the way from start to finish. Now, one of the best things of all is you're not going to pay anything for any of this information or this knowledge or for our services to be there every step of the way. I do make a commission. It's paid to me by the developer. It's no different than if you were buying a resale property and the seller of that property offers a commission. I get paid the same way. It's the same idea. I don't have you sign anything. There's no obligations to continue to use me. It's a very no pressure situation. If I can bring some guidance and some help to you into the process, then I'll have done my job. Now, speaking of commission, a lot of people think that if they go to a pre-sale development and they don't have a realtor, they'll get a better sale price. Now, the thing is, in the last 2 or 3 years, I have yet to see a developer offer a discount on the sale price with or without a realtor. And the reason is because it's been so busy and so active that the developer's opinion is if you don't purchase the property, the next person coming through the door most likely will. So they have no incentive to offer a discount. Now, in truth, a developer should probably want a realtor to bring their client. I mean, after all, the realtors such as myself, we've got a large database of clients looking for property. And if I think I've got the perfect client for that developer's product, of course, I'm going to tell my client about it and I'll bring my client. And if it's the right fit and my client absolutely loves it and it is perfect, then they can go forward and buy it. That's an advantage to the developer to have realtors such as myself bring our clients to them. It's worth their time and their money to have realtors as part of the process. So I hope this has explained some of the reasons why you should consider using a realtor when purchasing pre-sale property. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. If you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook. I'm going to have some great videos coming up, including listing property, selling property with tenants, all sorts of things. So I look forward to doing more videos and talking with you guys real soon.